I've been thinking lately about how God speaks to us through the Word. He speaks to us through the Word, through the Holy Spirit, through His teachings, by His example, through creation, the nature, the works of the Lord, through His people, through open doors, and even that gentle whisper. But one word keeps stirring in my heart. The Holy Spirit just rose this word up in my heart, invitation. The Lord brings invitation to us. And God gives invitation because that draws us closer. And when God speaks, He starts with a call. You remember, come, follow me, He said to Peter and Andrew and the disciples. Be still, He said to the waves. Come to me, all who are weary. There's something I keep discovering every day. God meets us with an invitation. An invitation means I'm invited, means I've been welcomed in, means something's been prepared for me. It means I'm being welcomed, and I want you to feel that way. I want you to feel welcomed and invited by the Lord. Maybe someone today in here feels like life has been loud or stormy, or the world has been loud, or your mind has been loud. Maybe even trials. Well, I've learned something about His voice. It can glide right through any noise. The Holy Spirit can speak right through any day. It doesn't matter what situation that you find yourself in. He can get through the noise. The Holy Spirit doesn't have to compete. He doesn't have to shout over the chaos of life. God's voice moves. It moves steadily. It moves personally. You can be surrounded by conversations, responsibilities, notifications, expectations, but somehow His voice finds a way into your heart, right into your heart. I want you to listen today because it comes not as pressure, but as peace. Sometimes His voice comes as a thought that's so different than any other thought that you've been having. A sudden calm in the midst of everything that you've been going through. Or a simple nudge telling you just to pause and breathe for a minute. What amazes me is that His voice doesn't need perfect conditions to reach me. Because somehow I just don't always have perfect conditions in my life. And God reaches me, and He can reach you. He can meet you in a crowded room, in a busy kitchen. Lord, help us. Like, He can meet you in a car line, in the car loop. He can meet you wherever you are. He can meet you in the middle of a day that feels anything but spiritual. God can reach you, and He does. Think about Peter stepping out of the boat in Matthew 14, even starting in verse 23, says that Jesus went up to the mountain to pray by Himself. And when it was late evening, He was there alone. But the boat with His disciples in it was already a considerable distance away from the land. And it was battered by waves, storms. The wind was contrary. And then in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus came to them walking on the sea. In the middle of the storm, Jesus came to them walking on the sea. Jesus was walking on water. And they were far away from the land, but I think about it, it was about like a 5K away, like about 3 to 3.5 miles away from the land. And that's a considerable distance. They had rowed for hours to get there, into the wind. They were far enough that turning back wasn't easy. The storm surrounded them with no quick escape. But that's right where Jesus comes to them. Not when they were already safe, not when they were close to shore, but right in the midst of such effort, right in the midst of such trial. The storm is real and the fear is real. But in the night shortly before dawn, just right before the daybreak, Jesus came to them walking on the sea. When Peter begins to realize it's Jesus walking towards him, he cries out, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you." And it is the Lord. It is Jesus in that moment. It is the Lord. And he says to Peter, "Come." And Peter comes. He walks on the water. Peter, a man, walks on the water at the invitation of God. Listen for his invitations in your life. It will make the impossible possible. And we need that because life comes at us with impossible situations. And you can walk on water. I get so excited because sometimes, even in quiet moments, when you turn your heart towards him, that's an invitation too. There's something else that I've learned. The more that we recognize his invitation, the more we realize that we've never actually been alone in this whole process. Because his invitations aren't demands, they're open doors. He is a door, and he gives us open doors. He invites us to come. Right now, you don't have to figure everything out. Just listen for his invitation. We don't strive our way into God's presence. God meets us with invitation. And maybe what we can say today is, "Jesus, I'm here. I'm here. I love you."